Randy, welcome to the program. First, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Mike. It's great to be with you. Thank you.
Randy, first, why has this now become such a – the stadiums are almost complete. Why has this become such a hot issue this close to completion? Is it because both you and the Mets have gone back and asked for more money?
Two things, Mike, and it depends on who's involved. Both us and the Mets have gone back and asked for secondary financing, which is common to complete this stadium. It was always contemplated. All your listeners and viewers must know that this stadium, the new Yankee Stadium, every cent of that stadium is being paid for by the New York Yankees. Every single cent of it. So people like Richard Brodsky, the assemblyman, who obviously, as I said in a congressional hearing several months ago, tie himself to the Yankee name. His performance has been worthy of, as I said at the hearing, the grandstanding Hall of Shame, as well as the Hall of Fame. He gets headlines by distorting the facts as it relates to the Yankees. The Yankees are building a ballpark. They're investing $1.3 billion of their own money. The ballpark will be owned by the city of New York. There are no property taxes collected on the ballpark today. If this financing mechanism wasn't built, there would be no property taxes or any type of taxes able to be collected, Mike, because there would be no ballpark ever built. And at the end of the day here, we are going to be responsible for all of the maintenance course of the new building. So basically, the city of New York gets a $1.3 billion stadium that it didn't have to pay a cent to construct or a cent to maintain.
Randy, counter this. The city comptroller just says a couple of minutes ago, maybe just because he knew you were coming on, he just put this issue out just minutes ago, that the Thompson says an audit shows the project's direct cost to the city has leaped to $325 million due to oversights and mistakes. Now, what money is he speaking about?
Yeah, he's not speaking about the actual stadium. He's speaking about for years and years in the Bronx, people were complaining that the parkland in the Bronx was not adequate. So as part of this arrangement, the Yankees pay for the stadium. The city is building the infrastructure. So the city is building new and additional parkland. And as is everything recently, Mike, construction costs have gone up. The city are building beautiful brand new parks. They're also building parking garages because people in the community for years have always said, and you've been around the stadium, it's inconvenient for them. People double park in their neighborhood. People idle around the neighborhood. It creates pollution. So the city and state are building parking garages. The Yankees get no revenue from that.
You have nothing to do with the parking garages?
Nothing. We get 600 parking spaces, and after we put in $1.3 billion to build the stadium, we get 600 parking spaces.
Now, why do you need to go back? If this is an obvious question, which you might understand, might think it's a dumb question. I'm sure the audience doesn't. I don't. If you are paying for this all with private financing, Yankee money, why do you have to go back to the city for permission for anything?
Because it's all being done through a tax-exempt financing mechanism. As I said, this new stadium is owned by the city.
Right.
We have a 43-year lease in the building, and through our pilot payment, which is what pays the debt service on the bonds. What's important to note here, Mike, is in almost every other stadium that's built in any other sport,
Go ahead.
What happens is tax-exempt bonds are issued, but unlike here, what happens is there's actually a direct tax that's issued, whether it be a property tax, some kind of sales tax, car rental tax, some kind of tax, which basically goes to service the bonds. Here, it's a Yankee payment that is going to service the bonds. Now, Mr. Brodsky, because has to come up with some kind of rationale to get himself in the newspapers, his rationale is, well, the Yankee payment should be going to the city because it's a property tax. But that ignores the fact that there are no property taxes now. Tenants don't pay property taxes, and there wouldn't have been a stadium built at all without this financing arrangement, so there would be no taxes paid whatsoever.
Let me ask this question. All right, so this is really what you call payment in lieu of real estate taxes. There are no real estate taxes. You're a tenant. You don't own it, so you wouldn't pay the taxes, obviously. Think of your house. People, if the tenants don't pay it, the owner pays it. So with that the case, you pay from that money, you finance the bonds. Could you have made this deal without bringing the city into it? Could you have made a privately, totally, leave the city out of it and utilized private resources? Could you have built this stadium?
No, absolutely not. And no.
Why not? Let me just answer for me. Why not?
The cost of borrowing would have been so much higher that it would have not been possible for us to do that.